right, 1-2. Welcome, everybody, to Monday Night Baseball right here on Saunders County Online, Wahoo Area Broadcasting, bsdnlive.com, and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. I'm Kelly Johnson with you as we have Wahoo Warriors, or the Wahoo Bishop Niman Warriors taking on the Platteview Trojans. And so today we have only one camera for you, and unfortunately what is happening is we have a lot of activities going on right here in Wahoo today. So as we continue on, we will also have coverage of the Pops concert that's coming up tonight as Wahoo Public Schools wrapping things up there with a great concert, fireworks, all at the high school outdoors. So a lot of activities you can be a part of, but of course we have baseball right now for you. The Trojans are taking the field at this point. We'll talk about their starting lineup here in a little bit. So actually taking a quick look out there, see if we can look there. So we see Andre Dominguez as well as Nick Clark. Logan Gross-Didler, followed by Tucker Ria. And Lance Christensen with Cash Porter, and then we see Seamus Riley. So I believe that is the first lineup there. And the Warriors, they are taking the field at this point. We will have live coverage of the national anthem as some students from Wahoo Public Schools coming to sing the national anthem for everybody. So Alex Berry looks like he's on the mound for the Warriors, and that's how we finished on Saturday, with Quinn Shutt also catching Saturday and starting out as catcher today. Now let's go ahead and turn over to the stadium for the national anthem.
As we honor America with the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner. It's performed today by Hannah Simon, Tim Nelson, and Piper Rustemeyer.
So that was Tatum Nelson, Hannah Simon, Piper Rustemeyer, all national anthem as We are now ready for some baseball, and looks like we're kicking things off pretty close to being right on time. 4:32 as they're getting out to do the warm-up throws. Again, we see, let's see, actually on the mound is Cash Parson. Cash, junior from Wahoo Public. That puts Alex Berry over at first. Quinn Shutt is catching. Taking a look around the bases, I believe Cody Hesser is over at second base. Shortstop is Carson Sabatka. Jay Skaminski playing third base. Sam Markson in right field. You know, one of these days I will bring in the binoculars so I can see. Caden Christian over in left field, and Isaiah Nagel, yep, verified out in center field. So that is the field for the Warriors as they get ready. Leadoff Platteview Trojan at bat is Andre Dominguez. Andre is a senior for Platteview. And we're working on improving the internet out here. American Legion ball is starting up here pretty soon as well, so that way when we get it all covered, get better internet and be able to bring you continued coverage, adding more cameras to baseball in Wahoo at Sam Crawford Field. And I believe right now it's like 81 degrees, very little breeze actually. The flag is just stationary at all. So we're getting ready for baseball on a beautiful Monday evening. The first pitch on the way, and that one is called strike. Right on the outside edge of the corner. The 0-1 to Dominguez, and that one's high and outside. 1-1. Warriors on Saturday led off 2-0 for several innings before Plattsmouth able to turn things around. That one high and inside. 2-1 is the count. Top of the fifth, Plattsmouth able to round the bases 4 times to be able to get the win. Swing and a miss. Count goes even at 2. Leadoff batter, top of the first. 4:33 is the start time. Swing, and that one's across the inside edge, and that was ball 3. Count goes full to the leadoff batter. Wind up, that pitch comes in, and that one right on across the top of the numbers, down the middle for strike 3. The center fielder, Nick Clark, a junior for Platteview, stepping up to bat. 1 out, nobody on base. Top of the first inning. So Cash Parson with the first strikeout. First pitch is a strike. Yo, 1 on the way, and that one off-speed pitch just doesn't quite drop enough. 1-1. Nice crowd out here on this beautiful Monday. Next pitch was swung on, and that gets loped out to shortstop, and waiting for it, Carson Sabatka with the easy catch. So Easton Harris, junior, pitching for Platteview. He's at bat. Cash with the call. A pitch comes in. That one just slightly high. 1-0. Wind up the next pitch. And that one drops in right across the inside edge of the plate. 1-1. Next pitch swung on, and that gets sent out to left field, getting right underneath it. And for the easy out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. Now we'll take a little break ourselves as we get ready for the Warrior Bats right here on BSDNLive.com, Saunders County Online, and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. Beautiful day for baseball right here at Sam Crawford Field as we have the Warriors taking on the Trojans of Platteview on BSDNLive.com, Saunders County Online, and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. Leadoff batter at the bottom of the first inning for the Warriors is Carson Sabatka. Bottom of the first inning. First pitch on the way. Swung on, and that one gets chipped over out of the glove of the pitcher. Not able to field it, and that puts one pitch, one on base. Sabaka able to find his way there. So Sam Markson, the right fielder, stepping up to bat. First pitch on way, showing bunt, and pulls that one back for a ball. Yeah, breeze is starting to pick up a little bit. Feels good out of right field. Could force everything to pull left. Showing bunt, and that gets fouled back to the fence. 1-1. Warriors have done a great job of striking early at home. Just have their record at home has not been very strong. Their record on the road is really good. So they have a 10-11 record, most of the wins on the road. Pull back and bunt, and that one goes straight out to the pitcher. Throw is wild, and so that brings 2 runners on and advances them to second and third. So there's an error right there. So throwing that out to first base, the throw was well off the mark, and that just opened it up. So the Warriors able to put bases on second and third with Isaiah Nagel coming up to bat. Now Saturday, he was able to get on base 3 out of 4 times. And that first pitch, called strike as he swung on that one. Nobody out. Wind up the next pitch. Swing, and that one gets loped over the shortstop's head. That brings in 1 run, advances a runner to the corners. Warriors starting off strong. 3 up, 3 on base, 1 rounded the bases. That brings Jace Kaminsky with runners on the corners. I believe it could be Dylan Romans behind the mask at home plate, calling out. That first pitch coming in from Easton Harris. That is ball 1. 1-0. Nobody out. Runners on the corners. Harris checks the runner. Swing, and that gets loped out into right field. Gets underneath the glove. Brings in a run and advances Nagel to third. So we have 1 run come in and still runners on the corners. Cody Hesser now at bat, so that's brought up 5 batters for the Warriors with no outs so far. 2 errors have led to 2 runs. Harris pitch on the way, and that one lingers high for ball 1. Gets the call he wants. Pitch comes in, and that one's right across the inside edge of the plate at the knees for strike 1. 1-1. Nobody out. 2 runs have rounded for the Warriors. Bottom of the first inning with runners on the corners. Wind up pitch. Swung on, and that one gets popped out and picked up by shortstop. The throw is wild over to first. Again, loses it. Brings in 1 run. Looking to bring in a second run. And Cody stays at second. So 2-run base hit right there with another error. Puts the Warriors with a 4-0 lead at the bottom of the first and nobody out. That's bringing out a conversation on the infield, but looks like could be an injury over. Yep, there's an injury over at first base with that throw, and he reached over. Got his hand sideways or something, and so they're checking him out. Trainer is going and taking a look at him. So the Warriors bats leading off right now with just a great start at the bottom of the first. Now, you don't want to see anybody hurt. Now, I believe that is, trying to see the number there. Okay, so the first baseman is coming off the field. I believe that's Nathan Irk. Alex Berry stepping in to bat.
He's now playing first base with number 11, Bryson Douglas.
So Bryson Douglas stepping up to play first base for the Trojans. And Alex Berry stepping up to bat. Nobody out. 4 runs have come in, and Cody Hesser is the lone person on base on second. 3 errors have brought in runs so far, bottom of the first inning. Easton Harris checking runner at second. Pitch comes in. That one is low and inside for ball 1. Waiting for the call he wants. Gets set. Checks a runner. Pitch on the way, and that one's high and outside. 2-0 is the count to Berry. Breeze is picked up coming out of right field, so probably see everybody shift a little bit to the left in the outfield at this point. Next pitch coming in, swing and a miss, strike 1. So Berry taking advantage of being ahead on the count. Went after that one a bit, see if he could find a place out in. I would go for right center field looking at the layout here. Wind up pitch, and that one's inside. 3-1. Harris with the check of the runner. Wind up that pitch. Swing and fouls back. Count goes full. 3-2 is the count. Nobody out. Runner on second. Waving away the first pitch. Now he likes it. Harris with the wind up the pitch, and that one high for the free base. So Cody Hesser stays at second base, Berry on first, and that brings up Willie Ullery to bat. Nobody out, runners on first and second. We're at the bottom of the first inning. Warriors taking advantage of 3 errors and bringing 4 runs in. Harris checking runner at first. Sets. Runner at second. Pitch on the way. Showing bunt. Gets out of the way. And that advances runners. So that moves Berry and Hesser forward a base. And now 2 more runners in scoring position with nobody out. As a pass-by pitch goes all the way back to the backstop. Ullery waiting for the next pitch. Harris really not having to worry about runners at this point. Pitch comes in, and that one is low inside. That brings the count 2-0 with nobody out. So free base, but nobody wants to fill that one. Comes inside, and that's kind of a protective swing. Fouls that off to the third base dugout. 2-1. Again, nobody out at this point. Already waiting for the next pitch. Swing and fouls straight back. Glad that wasn't my camera. Next pitch hit, and that one just takes a weird wobble out, and the throw over to first is not connected. And that brings a run in. Actually, that brings in 2 runs, and now we have a runner on first. So that puts the Warriors ahead, bottom of the first, 6-0. And catcher Quinn Schutt stepping up to bat with nobody out. Now first pitch showing bunt, pulls it back, and it gets through the legs, and that advances Ullery to second base. Showing bunt, pulls it back. Puts us at a 2-0 count for Schutt. Nobody out. Runner on second. 6 runs have come in for the Warriors. Bottom of the first inning. Wind up pitch. Showing bunt. Gets a hold of it and drops down, but is able to catch it. Did he catch it? So he did catch that. So that is the first out. And Caden Christian stepping up to bat. So with 1 out, we have a runner on second. 6 runs have come in. Harris checks the runner. Swing, and that gets popped foul over the third base dugout for strike number 1. Caden wrapping up the batting lineup. Next pitch swung on, and that gets popped again. Third base line, and it found a car right outside. Always remember, when you're at a ballpark, don't park next to it. Wide up that next pitch. That one's low and inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Harris waving off a couple of pitch calls. Christian taking a timeout, stepping back in the box. Wind up the pitch from Harris, and that one is low, gets away, and the throw goes over to third, and not in time. That puts Barry on third base with 1 out, and the count goes even at 2. Wind up that next pitch. Swung on, and that gets loped out to shortstop. Picks it up. The throw over to first. And that is not in time. Brings in Barry for the run, and now we have a runner on first with 1 out. 7 runs. Bottom of the first inning. Back to the top of the batting order, and we're still in the first inning as Carson Sabatka steps back into the batting box. 4 errors have led for the Warriors, able to bring in 7 runs. 1 out, runner on first. Harris with a wind up the pitch, and that one gets right across the middle for strike 1. Absolutely beautiful day for baseball. Off-speed pitch stays high and outside. 1-1 is the count to Sabatka. First one to make it around the bases, and he's back at bat. Wind up that next pitch, swung on, and that gets chipped down the third base side. 1-2 is the count with 1 out, runner on first. 7 runs, only 2 hits associated with that, but 4 errors. Leaves statisticians scratching their heads on that one, but that's the way baseball goes some days. Still the bottom of the first inning. Warriors still at bat. With 1 out. Wind up that pitch. Swing and miss. Strike 3. So that's the second out of the bottom of the inning. And that brings up Sam Markson, right fielder, stepping up to bat for the second time. Two outs, runner on first. Warriors lead 7-0. Wind up that pitch inside and actually hits Sam. So that advances him to a base. And Nagel, Isaiah Nagel up to bat with 2 outs, runners on first and second. Again, Isaiah has been doing a really good job of getting on base with 2 outs the past few games. So. Grass is looking really green. We've had some nice rains the past few days, which have postponed or canceled some games. All right, first pitch from Harris comes in, and he swings that down the first base line, and that one swings foul for strike number 1. Had some pretty good distance. Right fielder was trying to track that one down, just couldn't get over there in time. Markson put some wheels to that one. Harris waving off a couple of pitches, waiting to see what he likes. Gets set, checks a runner at second. Pitch on the way. That one is a little outside. Counts even at 1 with 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Checking the runner. Pitch on the way in. Swing, and that gets fouled straight back. 1-2 with 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Isaiah behind on the count. Waiting for his pitch, keeping it alive. Swing, and that one gets chipped down the third baseline foul. Stays 1-2 with the count. Harris 1 strike away from closing this one. That one goes high. Throw goes out to third and not able to tag. So the count goes even at 2 and advances the runners to second and third. So with 2 outs, runners in scoring positions. A lot of 2s out there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second, runner on third. Swing, and that one just gets chipped down the third base side again. Nagel staying alive, making Harris work for this one. Harris just 1 strike away from closing it. Swing, and that one gets loped out into left field. 1 run comes in, coming around the corner, and 2 run comes in, and Nagel heads out to second base. That puts the Warriors ahead 9-0 with a runner now on second base, 2 outs. Jace Kaminsky stepping up to bat. Now, the bottom of the first inning's really been taking care of the Warriors. Wind up that first pitch inside for ball 1, almost hit him. Harris gets set, checks runner at second. Pitch on the way, and that one lingers high. Off speed doesn't drop. 2-0 with 2 out. Runner on second. We're bottom of the first inning. Warriors continue to trudge along 9-0. Pitch on the way, and that one drops in for strike 1. Kaminsky able to relax on that one as he's ahead on the count. Harris checks the runner. Pitch on the way. Swung on, and that gets loped out to center field. Chasing after it. And just not able to get it. Drops out, goes to the fence. Brings in another run. And a stand-up double for Kaminsky. Puts the Warriors ahead 10-0. Second baseman Cody Esser back at bat. And with that, time is called for the Trojans as they go out, have a conversation. So we'll let them have their conversation and come back with more baseball right here on BSDNlive.com, Saunders County Online, and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. So if you're just tuning in, it is Warrior Baseball taking on the Platteview Trojans. We're still at the bottom of the first inning. Warriors taking advantage of 4 hits, 4 errors to bring in 10 runs. Right now we have 2 outs, runner on second. And the Trojans are replacing Easton Harris with Cash Porter on the mound, trying to get that last out. So we're getting the last couple of pitches in to warm up. And again, that's going to bring in Cody Hesser to bat with 2 outs, runner on second. Bottom of the first inning, and so the first pitch, this is probably the longest inning that the Warriors have played in a long time. 35 minutes ago is when the first inning started. Wind up, and the pitch comes in. That stays high for ball 1. One ball, no strikes, 2 out, runner on second. Want to say thank you to all the sponsors that are a part of the Wahoo Athletic Department. You can see them in the upper left-hand corner of all of our activities. Swung on that one. It was a little high and inside, but that puts the count 1-1. One and one. Pitch comes in, low and outside. 2-1 with 2 out. Runner on second. Warriors lead the way, bottom of the first so far, 10-0. Wind up, that pitch comes in, swing, and missed that one. Strike 2. Counts even at 2. So Cash Porter able to find that strike zone pretty good. Get it past there with the fastball. Wind up pitch. That one drops outside. Count is full. With 2 outs, I'm going to see Kaminsky, I believe, out there in second base. He's going to run no matter what at this point. Pitch on the way. Swing and miss. Strike 3, and that is the 3rd out. Not without having some damage done, as the Warriors able to get 4 hits. 4 errors assisted them to be able to bring in 10 runs. So we wrap up the first inning 10-0. We'll take a little break ourselves and come back with the Trojan Bats right after this on BSDNLive.com, Saunders County Online, and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. Leading off, batting for the Trojans, now pitching is Cash Porter. Facing off against Cash Parsons, pitching for the Warriors. First pitch on the way. Swing, and that one gets sent out to left center field. Good connect. Wraps around, but stops at first. So first pitch, first hit for the Trojans. Now that brings up Lance Christensen, Jr., at bat for the Trojans.
Your attention, please. Running at first for Platteview is number 10, Sam Smith.
We have a courtesy runner at first for Cash Porter, and that's Sam Smith, Jr. First pitch coming in to Lance Christensen. It's called strike. Wind up, that pitch comes in, swing, and that one gets out, picked up by shortstop, steps on the bag, and throw over to first is in time for the double play. Warriors stepping up to be able to make those plays. And that brings up Bryson Douglas, a first baseman, sophomore for Platteview. 2 outs, nobody on base. Pitch on the way, and that one is just low inside for ball 1. Next pitch on the way, swing, and that one goes out. Shortstop takes it up. Throw over to first in time. 1, 2, 3 out. Warriors took care of business right there, and that is 1.5 in the books. Warriors continue to hold the lead 10-0. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, no runners left on base. We'll be back with the Warrior Bats coming up in just a moment right here on BSDNlive.com, Saunders County Online, and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. Warm-up pitch is complete. We're back at baseball with the Warrior Bats right here on BSDNlive.com, Saunders County Online, and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. As always, want to say thank you to the sponsors for the Wahoo Public Athletic Department's sponsors, Booster Club, as they help bring you all of the events and activities. So Alex Berry stepping in to bat. First pitch comes in. And that one is called strike 1 as he fouls that back. Comes the 0-1. Next pitch, low and inside, 1-1. Cash Porter took over for Easton Harris. Wind up that next pitch, high, and ball 2. Wind up pitch. That one goes across the top of the number on the inside edge of the plate. Count's now even at 2. Nobody out. Next pitch, well outside. Count goes full. So Alex Berry, leadoff batter, bottom of the second inning. Wind up the pitch and swung on, popped that one foul over the first base dugout. Keeps the count full, 3-2. Berry staying alive. Wind up the next pitch. That one lingers high. Ball 4. That's a free base for Alex Berry. And now we see Willie Ullery stepping up to bat.
The designated hitter number 2, Willie Ullery.
Willie Ullery, the designated hitter for the Warriors. This is still everybody's second at bat for the Warriors. First pitch low and inside for ball one. Cash with the pitch on the way, and that one's inside. Ball two. Quinshut on deck. Wind up that pitch, and that one drops right inside for strike one. Again, Ullery taking advantage of being ahead in the count, letting it go by, not stressing about it. Porter with the windup, the pitch. That one right across the outside edge of the plate for strike two. Porter with the pitch delivered, and that one gets fouled against the plate. Keeps the count even at 2. No out, and Ullery at first. Barry taken off to second and is able to get there in time. So we have a foul ball and then a stolen base. Or not foul ball, but a ball. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Now we have Ullery with a full count. Pitch swung on, and that gets popped into the crowd. Well, actually, there was nobody in that part of the seating section, so keeps the count full with no out. Ullery continuing to bat. Porter with a payoff pitch, and that one's inside for ball 4 and another free base. Quinshut stepping up to bat as the second time today. As the first inning, we were able to get almost a round and a half done. Caden Christian wrapping up, and he's on deck. Nobody out. First pitch coming in. That one's called strike. A little bit high, but I'll say touch the numbers, so. Home plate umpire has a better view than I do. Porter checking the runner, and that on the inside edge of the plate, strike number 2. Quinshut not liking those pitches, but not going to argue. Porter checks a runner at second. Wind up the pitch, and that one swung on and fouled back. Keeps the count 0-2. Nobody out, runners on first and second. Warriors ahead 10-0. We're at the bottom of the second inning. All 10 runs came in the bottom of the first inning for the Warriors. Wind up the pitch on the way, and that one called ball. 1-2 is the count. Pitch coming in, and that one, the off speed just stays high. Count goes even at 2. Pitch coming in, swung on, and that gets popped straight up, and well, that's going to come down. And gets caught behind home plate right at the fence for out number one. Left fielder Caden Christian stepping into bat with one out, runners on first and second. Top of the order, Carson Sabaka on deck. Porter steps off the mound to throw over to second. Barry moves back. So no throw was made. Porter with the pitch, and that one's low inside for ball one. Porter has one out, runners on first and second as he is about to pitch the next one. Swung on, and that one gets bounced over to first base. So the sacrifice hit moves the runners ahead one. So with two outs, runners on first and second, and now we're back to the top of the order with Carson Sabaka stepping into the batting box. Wind up that pitch low and inside. Ball one. We're at the bottom of the second inning. Warriors lead the Trojans 10-0. All 10 runs come in. Bottom of the first inning. Two outs, runners on second and third. That next pitch right across the outside edge of the plate. Counts even 1-1. Wind up that pitch. That lingers a little further out, so we have 2 balls, 1 strike with 2 outs. Barry on third, Ulrey on second. Next pitch comes in. Inside edge of the plate. Counts even at 2. Sam Markson on deck. Sabaka is able to get through. Swings and chips that down the first base line. Picked up. Tossed over to first for the out. So that wraps up 2. Warriors hold on to the 10-0 lead. No hits, no runs, no errors that inning. And so we're going to take a little break with the Trojan Bats coming up at the top of the third right after this on BSDNLive.com, Saunders County Online, and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. So does anybody know why there's some seats and some without seats here at Sam Crawford? There's a lot of history in around here because like Peony Park piece is over Welcome back, top of the third inning as the Trojans step up to the bat. First pitch coming in to Bryson Banks, called strike. Next pitch, that gets fouled back, and I think it's aiming at that same car that got hit earlier. Oh, 2 is the count. Next pitch swung on, and that gets loped out to center field for a base hit. So that's the second hit for the Trojans. First hit came the last inning, but it was quickly stifled as a double play, rare double play happened. Throw goes over to first. Cash Parsons. Have to keep the two separated. Cash Parsons pitching for the Warriors and Cash Porter pitching for the Trojans. 0-1. Wind up the next pitch. Swung on, and that gets chipped down the third base line. The fielder's choice goes over to first in time. The sacrifice does advance the runner. Second baseman Darren Thomas stepping up to bat for the Trojans with one out, runner on second. Top of the third inning. Wind up the pitch, and that is well outside. Quinn Shutt doing a great job of keeping that ball in front of him. Cash Parsons' release on that one was a little late, so wind up that pitch. That one stayed high, but was right in that range. 2-0, one out, runner on second. Wind up that pitch, and that one stays high. 3-0. Checks runner, and that one drops down. So Dylan Thomas able to get the free base. Runners on first and second with one out. Quinn Shutt doing a great job of keeping the ball in front of him. Catcher Andre Dominguez stepping up to bat. That's going to bring out a conversation with assistant coach Nick Milliken out to. Looks like we're going to see a relief. So we will go ahead and see Cash Parson take his leave, but he did a great job holding the Trojans to 0-0 for the first 2 and a third innings. Now we have runners on first and second with one out. Stepping up to pitch is Sam Markson, moving forward out of right field. So we're going to let him warm up and be back right after this on bsdnlive.com, Saunders County Online, and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. We're here at Sam Crawford Field. It is Warrior Baseball. Wahoo Bishop Newman teaming together, taking on the Platteview Trojans. First inning, the Warrior Bats just were able to take advantage of the leadoff pitcher, Easton Harris. So 6 hits, but 4 errors also brought in a total of 10 runs. Now we had a pitching change. Sam Markson stepping up to pitch for the Warriors with runners on first and second. 1 out. First pitch swung on. And that gets fouled off as Andre Dominguez takes the first strike. Wind up, and the next pitch on the way. Swing, and that one gets sent out to center field, chasing it down and able to reel it in. Great catch out there for the second out, holding runners at first and second. Got some good hit behind that one, just not able to get over the fence. So now we have Nick Clark stepping up to bat for the Trojans. 2 outs, runners on first and second. First pitch on the way, and that one shows a little low for ball 1. Markson checking runner. Pitch comes in high and outside. 2-0. Excuse me. 2-0 is the count. With 2 outs, runners on first and second. Next pitch swung on, and that gets popped straight behind us in the press box. 2-1. Next pitch comes in right at the knees, called strike 2. Counts even at 2. Markson with 2 strikes. The last strike could be right here. Wind up that pitch, swung on. That gets fouled straight back, keeps the count alive. 2-2. Warriors looking to try to keep the Trojans from getting around the base at all. Wind up pitch, and that one, off-speed pitch, drops right in there for strike 3. So 2.5 complete. Warriors able to keep the Trojans at 0 while they have 10. Going into the bottom of the third, we'll take a little break and see the Warrior Bats right after this on BSDNLive.com, Saunders County Online, and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. Warm-up pitches are complete, and now we're going to see the third pitcher stepping up for the Trojans as Lance Christensen is on the mound, facing off against Sam Markson, who stepped up as pitcher for the last 2 outs. First pitch on the way, and that one's low and outside for ball 1. We're at the bottom of the 3rd inning. Warriors lead 10-0 over the Platteview Trojans. Next pitch on the way. Swing, and that one gets sent out to right center field. And all the way to the fence. Wrapping around second. And stopping at third. An infield triple. Showing a big spark right there for the Warriors. And that brings up Isaiah Nagel. Everybody at their 3rd round of bats for the Warriors. Max Sledge is courtesy running for Sam Markson. Nagel, first pitch comes in. That one is high inside for ball 1. Wind up the pitch coming in, and that one drops a little low. 2-0 is the count. Waiting for the pitch, high and outside. 3-0. Platteview just working to try to find the right combination at this point. That next pitch looked a little bit too far inside, but when you're ahead of the count, 3-0, you let that one go by. That one goes past, a little high for the free base. No out. Runners on the corners. Jace Kaminsky stepping up to bat for the Warriors.
The third baseman, Jace Kaminsky.
Warriors able to bring in 10 runs with 6 hits and 4 errors. Had 1 hit during the bottom of the 2nd. Didn't bring any runs in. Kaminsky receives a first strike. Wind up pitch, swung on, and that gets popped over the pitcher's head. Second, shortstop picks it up. Throw over to first is in time for the double play. So like that, we have 2 outs, but 1 run came in. Warriors now lead 11-0. Cody Hesser struck out the last time he was up at. Wind up the pitch, swing, and that gets popped down the third base line and able to pick it off right at the fence. That was the 3rd out right there. So no hits, no errors. 1 run did come in for the Warriors. Actually, there was 1 hit. 1 hits, no errors, 1 run. Nobody left on base, and that wraps up 3 innings with the Warriors leading 11-0 over the Trojans. Trojans back coming up at the top of the 4th inning right after this. Again, say thank you to all of the sponsors. You can see them in the upper left-hand corner as they are part of the Wahoo Public Schools Athletic Booster Club. Not only are they a part of the Booster Club helping the students, the athletes, but they are actually helping pay for the scoreboards in the new gym. And helping us provide the broadcasts you see all year long for all the activities at Wahoo Public Schools. So again, thank you to them for being a part of that. We're going to take a little break. Come back with the Trojan Bats right after this at the top of the fourth inning. 11-0 Warriors lead on BSDNlive.com, Saunders County Online, and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. Sam Markson continues to pitch for the Warriors as he took over for Cash Parsons. Cash Parsons will have the win on this at this point. Stepping up to bat would be Easton Harris, the leadoff pitcher for the Trojans. Wind up, the pitch comes in high and inside for ball one. Harris not able to complete the first inning of pitching. Wind up, that pitch swung, and that gets popped foul back behind us on the third base side and found another vehicle. Will that one buff out? I don't know. Wind up, the next pitch. Pop foul down the first base side, and that one's going to go out of play. 1-2 is the count. We're at the top of the fourth inning. Warriors lead 11-0. Easton Harris, leadoff batter for the Trojans. Wind up, the pitch on the way, and that one stays high. Count now even at 2. Next pitch swung on, and that gets loped out to third base. The throw over to first is not in time. There's an error as Harris wraps around and makes it to second base. Throw to first is off and goes all the way to the fence. Puts the runner. And now we have the second pitcher, Cash Porter, at bat for the Trojans. Wind up the pitch, and that one stays high. Ball one. Warriors leading 11-0. If they can really focus on keeping things. Wind up that pitch in the dirt, gets all the way back to the backstop. Shutt not able to find the ball. He advances Harris to third base. 2 balls, no strikes, no out. Runner on third now, threatening. Markson wind up with a pitch on the way, and that one stays outside. 3-0. Porter steps back into the batter's box. Wind up, that pitch comes in. Stays right on the inside edge of that plate for strike one. Markson having to dig himself out. Wind up that pitch. That one a little bit up across the top of the numbers inside, but called strike two. Count goes full. Cash Porter really thought that one was a ball and so a free base, but count is full. Payoff pitch swung on, and that one gets sent over to second base. Throw to first is in time for the out. Not without. Platteview able to bring in one run. Lance Christensen stepping up to bat. We're about top of the fourth. Trojans able to bring one around. So 11-1. First pitch swung on, and that one gets sent straight out to center field, and easily Nagel gets underneath that one for the second out.
First baseman Bryson Douglas.
Bryson Douglas stepping up to bat. 2 outs, nobody on base. 1 run has come in. 1 error for the Warriors has advanced that one. First pitch low and inside for ball 1. Markson with the windup. That one crossed the numbers on the outside edge of the plate for strike 1. 1-1. Swing, and that goes out to left field. Chasing it down and goes all the way to the fence. Wrapping around first and a stand-up double. Two out stand-up double. The Trojans now have another runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Bryson Banks stepping up to bat. Lefty for the Trojans. Sam Markson checking runner at second. Wind up the pitch. Just a little bit outside for ball 1. Almost frameable on that one, it will have been, but just close. Wind up the pitch, and that one low. 2-0. 2 out, runner on second. Top of the 4th inning, Warriors lead 11-1. Wind up next pitch, swung on, and that one gets loped out to left field. And that puts runners on the corners. So 2 outs. Trojans working on a rally here. So Seamus Riley, senior, stepping up to bat for the Trojans, but not without a conversation, as we see head coach Kyle Wires stepping out to have a conversation with Markson. Markson stepped in pretty much this same scenario as he took over when Cash Parson started off pitching but put himself into a position with 2 outs and runners threatening, and so that puts us at the top of the 4th inning with 2 outs. Runners on the corners. And Max Sledge coming in to warm up to throw for the Warriors. And we'll take a quick break for that to happen right here on BSDNLive.com. Saunders County Online and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. So correction, that's actually Josh Fox stepping up to the mound for the Warriors. Markson heading back out to right field. Fox with a distinctive sidearm throw, very different than the rest of the pitching staff that we've seen so far. So we'll probably see more curveballs. Pitching against Seamus Riley. So the first pitch comes in as a strike. Wind up. That pitch stays high. We do see a runner advance from first to second. Shutt doesn't take the bait on that one, keeps the ball. 1-1. Pitch swung on, and that gets sent down the third baseline, pulls foul. 1-2. 2 outs, runners on second and third. Trojans trying to do a 2-out rally. Next pitch, swing and a miss. And that wraps up the top of the fourth inning. 1 run came in, 2 hits, no errors, and so, or was that 1 error? 1 error this inning. So that does again bring 1 run in. 11-1 as the Warriors come back with the bats on the bottom of the fourth inning right after this on BSDNLive.com, Saunders County Online, and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. Warm-up pitches complete. Lance Christensen pitching for the Trojans, and that brings up Alex Berry to bat. We're at the bottom of the fourth inning at Sam Crawford Field, about 78 degrees currently. A little bit of a breeze, not much of anything. Absolutely stunning day. What a picture that has been painted for us. Thank you for joining us right here on BSDN Live, Saunders County Online, and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. First pitch comes in, and that one stays across the inside edge of the plate, or outside edge of the plate for strike number 1. Wind up that next pitch. Then it struck him. So free base. Willie Ullery, designated hitter, stepping up to bat for the Warriors. No outs, runner on first. Leadoff batter, hit by pitch. Christensen checks runner at first. Pitch on the way. Swing and foul straight back for strike one. That's why I use the camera mounts that I use. No, because I have to pull quick because we have the Pops concert going on right after this. 1-1 is the count. So everybody's invited to that if you as well. Fireworks afterwards, even if you are for more baseball, you can catch the fireworks after that. A lot of activities going on at Wahoo Public Schools tonight. 2-1. And that pitch stays at the knees down the middle. Counts even at 2, nobody out, runner on first. Wind up. Swung on, and that one gets stopped at third base. The throw over to first. Called out. A lot of discussion on that one from the crowd. But that does sacrifice move runner forward. I believe the visitors, they were cheering out a surprise on that one. First pitch coming in to Quinn Shutt. That one stays high for ball one. Wind up next pitch, swung on, and that gets fouled straight up and behind us in the middle of the street. So 1-1 is the count with one out. Runner on second. We're at the bottom of the fourth inning right here at Sam Crawford Field. Varsity baseball right in front of you. Pitch on the way, and that one just goes a little outside. 2-1. Next pitch, high and inside, 3-1. Warriors looking to have some go-ahead runs here. Build a little. Ooh, that one, Shutt thought that was inside, but that was called a strike. Like I tell everybody, as long as the umpires are consistent on all their calls, I don't mind where their box is for the most part. Wind up pitch, and that one stays high. There's a free base. And that brings up for us Caden Christian with one out, runners on first and second. And going out to courtesy run is Jackson Hull for Quinn Shutt. So one out, runners on first and second. Caden Christian at bat. We're at the bottom of the fourth inning. 11-1, the Warriors with the lead. Christensen with a pitch inside, ball one. Again, beautiful crowd out here today. Wind up high outside, ball 2. Christensen checks the runner at second. Wind up the pitch. That one called strike on the outside edge of the plate. Wind up that next pitch. Swung on, and that gets loped out to center field, and it goes out to the fence. 1 run on their way, 2 runs on the way. And Christian stays at second base. 13-1. And Carson Sabaka at bat. So that brings us back around to the top of the batting order for the 4th time for the Warriors, as they lead 13-1, bottom of the 4th inning. One out, runner on second. Wind up the pitch on the way, and that one stays high for ball 1. Christensen checks runner, and pitch comes in, stays high, ball 2. Pitch in, swing, and it gets fouled outside the park on the third base line. Strike 1. 2-1 is the count. 1 out, runner on second. Wind up the pitch coming in, and that one's on the inside edge of the plate for strike number 2. Count goes even. You know what I'm missing here? I think Michael Klein needs to get the organ out, start playing some nice music in the background. That off-speed pitch just stays high. Let go really early. Count goes full. So Sabaka with a full count and 1 out. Runner on second. Wind up that pitch. It stays high, and that is another free base. Sam Markson stepping up to the bat. And that is time. So Mike Renner, head coach, stepping out to the mound, bringing everybody in. Bottom of the 4th inning, a Warriors lead 13-1 over Platteview Trojans. We have 1 out, runners on first and second, and a new pitcher. We'll talk about him in just a moment. It looks like it's going to be Seamus Riley stepping on to the mound. Oh, no. It's not Seamus. It is actually Michael Quinn, a junior for... No. Okay. I will wait until we have... Okay, so it is actually Seamus Riley. I was right the first time. Seamus Riley is pitching and warming up right now for the Trojans. Welcome back to Sam Crawford Field. It is Warrior Baseball on BSDNLive.com, Saunders County Online, and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. Again, say thank you to all the sponsors of the Wahoo Public Schools Athletic Booster Club. You can see them in the upper left-hand corner of our screen, all of the activities. Our fourth pitcher for the Trojans, Seamus Riley, stepping onto the mound as there's one out, runners on first and second. First pitch on the way to Sam Marks and gets fouled off for strike one. Trojans start off with Easton Harris, didn't finish the first inning. Then Cash Porter. Lance Christensen, and now Seamus Riley. That pitch comes in high and inside for ball one. 1-1. Warriors lead 13-1 with one out. Next pitch on the way, and that one is in the dirt for ball two. Wind up the pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Well, it actually gets a piece of it, but still, that is strike two. Count goes even. Count even at two with one out. Runners on first and second for the Warriors. Bottom of the fourth inning. 2 runs have come in so far. Wind up that pitch. Low and inside. Count is full. 3-2. Markson stepping back in for the payoff pitch. Riley checks a runner at second, and that one gets away. And that is ball 4. So free base. Would have advanced runners, but that was a fourth ball. And so now bases are loaded with one out. And we have Isaiah Nagel stepping up to bat for the Warriors. Riley checking runners. Pitch on the way. Swing, and that gets popped up out to center field. Getting underneath it, able to reel it in. Good throw to home. Keeps runners on base. Now we have bases loaded, 2 out. Now we have a pinch hitter. So Braden Robin pitch hitting for the Warriors. 2 outs, bases are loaded. Wind up pitch on the way, and that's low and inside for ball 1. Now bases are loaded, no place to put anybody in for a walk. Wind up that pitch, swung on, and that gets popped up into shallow right field. Caught by second baseman for out number 3, but not without bringing in a couple of runs off of a hit, no errors. The Warriors lead through 4, 13-1, and the Trojans, they have some work to do coming back with their bats. Top of the 5th right after this on BSDNLive.com, Saunders County Online, and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. Going into the top of the 5th inning right here at Sam Crawford Field, it's Warrior baseball as the Warriors are leading the Trojans 13-1. And Carson Sabatka stepping on the mound, trying to get the 3 outs and keep that 12-point lead. (13-1). Warriors lead over the Trojans. Stepping up to bat for the Trojans, Dylan Romans. First pitch on the way, swung on, and that one gets sent out to right center field, but wheeling over and able to reel that one in, Isaiah Nagel with the first out. So that brings up for the Trojans, and then trying to see, I don't.
Attention, please. Pitch hitting for Platteview is number 18, Leighton Bisaki.
Bladen Bisaki pitch hitting. And that one goes again out to center field. Isaiah Nagel again right there, the second out.
Attention, please. Pitch hitting for Platteview, number 10, Sam Smith.
Now we have pinch hitting stepping in, Sam Smith. 2 outs, nobody on base. Top of the 5th inning. Wind up the pitch. Off-speed pitch cuts the outside edge of the plate for strike 1. Wind up and pitch coming in, swing and chips that one back for strike 2. 0-2, 2 out, nobody on base. Pitch, swing, and that gets sent down. A foul on the first base side. Able to bring it in and wrap it up. That's the third out, and that is the game. 13-1 after 4.5. Warriors able to hold the lead and be able to have the easy decision. 8 runs and 8 hits, 13 runs against 4 hits and 1 run. Well, that's going to wrap things up. I'm headed up to the high school now as we have the Pops concert coming up. JV baseball continues on over here at Sam Crawford, but again, we continue to bring you everything we possibly can. Thank you to the sponsors. You see them in the upper left-hand corner of all of our broadcasts. Again, part of the cooperation between BSDN Live, Saunders County Online, WahooRadio.com, and Wahoo Public Schools Athletic Booster Club, bringing you all of the stuff that we possibly can all this year. Thank you for being a part of it. And we'll wrap things up and be on our way right now.